Well, it is in fact 3 o'clock, so welcome everybody to the Earth Removal Committee meeting for June the 3rd. We are in meeting room 1. It's 3 o'clock. Again, thank you all for being here. If everybody can do me a favor and silence their cell phones, we don't need any music playing during the meeting. I'll recognize the board members first, and if it's allowed, we'll let the audience speak, not for more than 2 minutes. Myself or the acting chair at one point during this meeting has a right to stop any conversation when he sees fit. Just keep your comments to yourself, and things get out of hand, we'll stop and we'll take care of it. Area 58, thank you very much for being here and recording this. It's always a welcome sight to see you. Is there anybody else recording today? Look at that, nice. Jen, you have a attendance sheet at the desk for people to sign in, thank you. So if anybody does come up and speak, walk up to the desk and you can sign the sign-in sheet just for the minutes. It works out so much better. Okay, with that, welcome everybody. I see 2 new faces. Would you like to introduce yourselves for us?
Howdy, I'm Rob Pike. I'm going to be the new agent for the earth removal.
Thank you, Rob.
Welcome.
And I'm Susan Hannon, I'm the recording secretary for this evening.
You are so very welcome here, Susan. Thank you very much for saying yes. So with that, I'm looking to have approval of the minutes of May the 6th. And then we can discuss after we get a motion.
I just found one typo from AI.
Okay. Are you looking to
Correct.
approve the minutes with an amendment?
Maybe.
There you go.
I'd like
Making a
to-
motion?
I'm making a motion to amend the minutes.
Thank
to
you.
Correct a typo. It was not Judy Ward, it was Judy Richards.
Wow.
Well,
Look
I
at that.
don't want to like,
My wife will appreciate it.
Do I have a second on the motion? Thank you, Mike. Any discussion other than your wife being happy about that? So you have a change that you'd like to make?
yeah, just a correction on page 2.
Okay.
Last line,
Got it. Last bullet point above bullet point 3.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good catch. Anybody else? Any more discussion on the minutes? I will tell you, like I said before we started the meeting, I think AI did a great job. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think it's bland, though. I do think it's just very different from what we're used to. So it's nice to be able to use technology when it's available to us.
Yeah, no, it's
So-
very precise. I
Yeah.
thought there was a lot of preciseness to it, even though it was bland.
I absolutely agree. Any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you all. That is unanimous. On to the next potential meeting date. Next date, right now, we're looking at is July 1st, which is the first Tuesday of the month, 3 o'clock, meeting room 1. How's everybody feel about that at the table?
That looks like it's going to be a problem for me.
Gonna be a problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out of town,
Out of town?
yeah.
Jen, are you around? Everybody else? How long are you out of town for, Rob?
The week before that, I'll be coming back, I think, on the 3rd, the 2nd of the 3rd.
Okay.
I was out of town the week before.
Okay. Let's,
Well, if there were any issues and he wasn't able to, could he call in and give a verbal report, or?
what I think I would like to do, as long as it's good with the board, is have, if you're not going to be able to be present, I do want to stay on that first Tuesday of the month scenario for reasons I won't talk about now.
Consistency.
Consistency is one of them. What I might ask you to do is if you could prepare a written report if you're not going to be able to be here for the
Sure.
things that you see
Sure thing.
over the month. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you don't see anything out there, maybe just a report on some of the things that you have seen or have done, just quick bullet points. Doesn't have to be anything. It's not a book report, so.
And if we have questions, we can come back to you the next
I'll be
meeting.
available by phone too, even if you need it. you know.
Yeah, we really don't have that scenario here where it works well to have a Zoom or phone calls and stuff like that. And I always find those things terribly disruptive, even though they are part of technology. And it's something I have to get used to, but I am in fact a dinosaur, so I try not to do those things if we don't have to. So if everybody else is good, first,
Works for me.
The
So it
first
is.
is fine.
July 1st, 3 o'clock, right here, meeting room 1. Thank you, everybody. So, we've kind of got a weird situation going on in the state of Massachusetts based on our governor filing an extension act. Some of the permits that we asked, permit holders that we asked to have come in are not, they don't have to be done with their permits. So based on that, we've seen most of the sites. I'm thinking, to be honest with you, we take the month of June off for our site visits.
Yeah.
Does that work for you guys? I am open to having my mind changed if we had something that was burning that we wanted to go see.
I feel that there's several here, at least 3 of them that we haven't really checked in over 6 months.
Okay?
So if we're going to put them off for June,
Yep.
what about vacations of all the rest of the board members not being available in July?
Okay.
If we go to pick, because then that will be like running into July 4th weekend. So to
I
look out
understand.
into July, then we're talking August, and then again, it's another vacation month, so.
Okay? Again, I'm open to having my mind changed. What do you guys think about site visits?
I can make either June or July.
Okay. So if we want to go in June, based on summertime vacations and such like that, I'm good. Mr. Ward?
I would be good to go on them, and I like going on them, but I haven't been able to. I can't go quite at that time of the morning. and
Okay.
It's not because I can't get up, but it's
No, I understand.
under circumstances. I mean, I could probably make it at 10, but I can't get everything organized for 8.
Sure. That I'm aware of, and I sympathize with your
And I
situation.
can go to, if you have a 3-visit morning, and one of the visits is gonna be at 10, I'll make that one, right?
Okay.
Whatever.
Saturdays tend to work. I don't want to have a mid-morning meeting. It's kind of nice to get in, get out for the rest of us.
I understand.
And believe me, I
Yep.
sympathize. Which permits did you think you wanted to go see, Judy?
1, 4, and, well, let's say permit number 58, permit 92, and one that does not have a permit number that was issued in 2019.
Okay, and where are they?
Johnson Cranberry
Yeah.
is 58. 92 is Johnson Cranberries.
Okay.
And the no number permit would be Matthew Rhodes.
Okay.
They haven't been looked at for a while.
Okay. Matt Rhodes was talking about, last I knew, he was coming in to close.
Okay.
And Van 2,
Yeah, Ben's supposed to come in next week, I think.
Next
week,
month.
Next month.
so we're going to end up,
Seeing them anyways.
Back
before they
there,
close. Okay,
right.
That's fine, I didn't know that.
so when we had all the applicants in here talking about that, it was, we kind of discussed it, and then again, the Third Permit Extension Act came about, so which really throws a monkey wrench into some of those, like the Matt Road scenario. Mr. Johnson, I believe his permits have expired before that grace period. So he does have to get that stuff taken care of, I think. So if you want, we can go, you want to do...
When do they plan on doing that, like, before our next meeting, hopefully? The closeout?
The closeout will, I'm hopeful, will be at our next meeting. And then at that
We'd
point, they'll
schedule
come
it.
in and then we'll schedule a site visit for that one after.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Do you want
Instead of going
to, would you like to go see Mr. Rhodes?
Does he have a closeout and an as-built?
I don't think, we haven't
Okay,
seen
so-
any of that stuff.
Right, he's the one that's gonna close it out, but we don't have an as-built, so we don't know where.
That's my point.
Okay.
So, but he also is in compliance where his permit could potentially, if he so chose, go another 2 years.
Okay. So the other two are not in
Then-
that window?
They're not out, they're out of compliance, right?
Okay, so what if we just see those two and see what's going on?
Well, what I'm hoping is that he's gonna be in here next month with an as-built and a pit closure form. We'll go see them then.
And there's no activity there?
No idea. Not supposed to be.
Okay. I just didn't want them dragging on.
Right.
And they keep dragging on.
With that,
You
it
wanna
makes
close
sense
them
to
out.
push out till July.
So what I'm thinking then, Jen, if we can get a letter out to those 3 permits, to 5892 and to Mr. Rhodes, asking for a response in the next week or so,
Okay.
when they are gonna file their as-bills with us, come in to close those permits. And if in fact Mr. Rhodes wants to have, is given right to have the other 2 years on the extension. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That way there we'll know. So what we can do then, Judy, if you'd like, why don't we plan and schedule a site visit for the month of June in case those come back negative?
Okay.
Does that make
and
sense?
By the end of the month then?
So, yes,
I don't have a calendar in front of me, so.
I didn't put a date in there, so we can... June 22nd is a Saturday. June 29th is a Saturday.
Either one. Do you want to go that way? If we go the 29th, it will be before our next meeting, and we
Correct.
have a little bit more information to go by.
So you want to shoot for 6/29?
Sure.
So if we're going to do all 3, we'd start at 8 o'clock. Mr. Ward, you said 10 o'clock.
6:29 is a Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't
did I
need
just
that.
get the wrong damn day?
6:28.
I'm sorry.
28th or
The 21st or the 28th?
Either one's fine, but. if
Let's
we
do the
go-
28th. Work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we'll let you know,
I can, maybe sometimes get a little earlier than that, but.
but if, if we say, hey, this is what we're going to be at
Yep.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock type of thing.
Yep, that'll work.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, it might be possible for me to just visit the site sometime different.
you certainly know both of the landowners. With their permission, I think you'd be okay to do that.
Yep.
I wouldn't typically recommend doing something like that, but
Mhm.
I think both of those people would be amenable to you coming to take a peek around. So,
So which ones is it?
both of Van Johnson's
Johnson.
permits
Yep.
and Matt Rhodes over on,
Yeah, yeah,
over on
okay.
Federal Furnace.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay? So we'll set up for the 28th at 8 AM.
Sounds like a
If-
plan.
If we hear that they're coming in shortly thereafter, we'll cancel the ones we need to cancel, and we'll see them in July. Make sense? Okay. Well, that was painful. Sorry, everybody.
That's what meetings are for.
That is exactly what meetings are for. So, on to the fun one. We visited 3 sites on the 17th. We started at 46 Federal Road, went to 59 Federal Road, and then went off to Hammond Street. John, thank you very much for
I'll recuse
recusing
myself.
yourself.
Thank you.
You've always been good about giving me the cues when I forget. We went to 3 Makepeace sites that day. I'll start with Judy. If you had anything to say about Pit 46 Federal Road?
36 Federal,
Yeah.
yes.
Is where the main scale house was.
Correct.
I can't tell you what the permit number is.
Permit 90,
Hmm?
I believe. And that's, so we were greeted by Chris and Mike. And we were going there for a site visit update and seeing how the progress was going. They do have 1 bog placed. They're using a new type of construction. It's kind of like level, the first time I've ever seen a bog like this. And there's stone all around it so that it's easier for trucks to get on and off the bogs. The vines were placed. There still is considerable amount of work being done. I believe they call it Phase 3 because they're working on Phase 2. Otherwise, they also had a delay because there was some type of investigation going on. So their work was halted for a while. They were talking also about, at the top of the hill, putting in some type of sprinkler system that runs the top to spray down to help keep the dirt from blowing, which would be beneficial to some of the neighbors in the area. And that's all I could
Sit on it.
say that I noticed on that particular site.
Okay, thank you. Roger?
Yeah, they moved from Phase 1, where there was cranberry bog there, and weren't able to move on to the Phase 2, which is in the water hole, is that right?
That'd still be part of Phase 1.
That's still part of Phase
Yeah.
1. Either way, they were stopped there and moved on to Phase 3. I noted that there wasn't any communication with the ERC on that and urged that they better their communications. From dust mitigation, like Judy said, they were talking about putting sprinklers up. They have berms for dust mitigation. There was an irrigation truck on site, and it looks like they do regular street sweeping.
Okay, thank you. Mike?
Let's see. They had the bogs planted. The water hole was on hold because of I believe DEP was doing some kind of audit. So they moved on, instead of going to Site 2, they went to Site 3 without any approval from this commission. I was disappointed in that, but other than that, everything was fine.
Okay. So, Rob, I'm going to ask for your opinion, too. First time you had ever seen anything. First initial thoughts?
Well,
And
so-
speak right into that mic so 58 can get it for us.
So the thing that struck me the most, I'm a farmer guy, was that new bog construction. I had never seen it. I guess it's been around for a while, and I guess it's fairly expensive, but I was really impressed by that. I could see how the maintenance for them, it's a real boon to that industry. It's just that cost for that. And I guess I noticed those same things, the issue of not communicating when the DEP shut them down, and they jumped to another, I don't know if it was a phase or just a different site, without communicating with us. I think that was communicated to them, that they need to communicate with us. And also that there was an irrigation and a sweeper truck on site, and they said they were sweeping every weekend, I believe is what they said. Oh, and we talked about the MASHA, which is the sister organization to OSHA, and how they were pretty strict on a lot of the things. It's mainly occupational safety, but it was a spillover into a lot of things that we would be looking at. So It's nice to have another set of eyes on it, looking at it that way, and I think they're a little stricter than we are, from what I heard.
It's different. It's a different organization.
Mine.
They look at mine health and safety.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
But it's some of the same things we look at, so
Some of the
it's-
same, absolutely.
That's kind of what I had in my notes on that.
Thank you. Yeah, and I echo everybody else's sentiment. They were told, in fact, that the next time there was an issue, that they be in front of us, let us know what's going on, and ask for our approval on different phasing. And they are clear about that. On to the next, 59 Federal. 59 Federal Road, we went from there at about 8:45 over to 59 Federal. Mike, I'll start with you this time.
Okay. They had everything down to grade, the first grade. Then they were supposed to, they just started, it looks like the day before, of outlining the bog, of one bog. And other than that, that's fine.
Nice. Roger?
I made a note that they have they are opting for a 2-year extension on this permit. All but Phase 4 has been cut out. I'm not going to say nothing's at bog grade, they did start. There was a water truck on site here as well. And yeah, the bog grade construction is underway. That's it.
Thank you. Judy?
This is a project that borders Cranberry Village, and I guess there was some issues with dirt with the residents, and it was nice to hear that they went and personally spoke to the residents that came to our meeting to say that, you know, that they've had a problem with the dust, and they exchanged contact information, so if the residents felt that there was more issues, that they would be addressing them quicker than before. As far as the site goes, it's very active. They do have a sign out front that tells the truckers that the pit is closed based on their permit of X amount of trucks a day. We did ask them if they could put some more bituminous gravel at the entranceway, because that gets beat up quite a bit because of the activity and the pivoting points of the truck, and they were compliant with that.
Thank you. Mr. Pike?
So I saw they had lots of equipment on that site, lots of expensive equipment. Nice stuff. A lot of material on the site, I saw. It was a big operation. I saw the water truck. If I'm not confusing that with the other site, they were proactive in making a berm at the top to reduce noise, and I guess it was very effective. I was surprised that it was that effective. Who would have thunk, you know? The signage out front, I had some notes on that. That was basically it.
Okay, thank you.
Nice operation.
Mr. Shores is absolutely correct. They do plan on using the next 2 years, which is allowed. So they're going to be digging that. What they were instructed at, that the next time we come back, there will be, in fact, the look of a cranberry bog, not just look like they started a week before. It's a lot of work, I get it. They will, in fact, be building a cranberry bog. We're not going to have a big open site like that. It does not make me feel good to have to hold some people's feet to the fire and not others, and that was discussed openly. So they will, in fact, be having a cranberry bog there the next time we go back. I was very happy to hear that they, like Judy said, that they went and met with the neighbors, because that is a problem. And that I've also been told, we were told that day, that there was supposed to have been a further meeting with more of the residents other than just that one household. So I have not heard how that went, but I'm very happy that they're being communicative to the neighborhood. So that was, to me, that was all good. It's a very large site. They need to get going. We need to see a finished product before anything else will happen there. So On to Hammond Street. And for the record, they are going to exercise their right on that one as well for the extra 2 years. And if there is no earth removal being done there, everything's loam sloped, they are just going to hang on to that for a little bit. But with that, I'll start with Roger. and go
Yeah,
from
the
there.
project looks complete. Full sloping, seating's done, no equipment on site, no further removal. And like you said, they're extending the permit for 2 years, but it looks pretty much complete to me.
I'll go to Rob next.
So, yeah, there was no activity. I guess it was wrapped up. The biggest thing that caught my attention was that big old pond full of fish. It looked like a great sight. I love to see the pond, now active pond that's full of fish.
Sure. Judy?
I concur with all the earlier comments. The only other thing, my conclusion was we're still waiting on the as-built for there. And I know that they put in for an extension, but they comment was that it's been inactive and they don't plan on it being active. But if anything changes, they will let us know.
Yep. Thank you. And Mr. Harrison?
I have nothing further to add, other than what's been told.
Yeah, so it was a good day. Finally got a site visit day that it wasn't pouring on us. So it was a nice day to spend reviewing some sites. So we wrapped up at about 10:15, 10:30, and it was a good visit. We, like was mentioned before, we did have Chris Iarati and Mike McVeigh there with us. So it was really nice to have the representation from the company with us that day. John, if you can hear me, you can come back in. Okay. You guys did get the packet, and in that packet, we have request from O&M for expense authorization. Before we get to the $3,249.50 on that, I will tell you that I had an email communication with the Carver Director of Finance, Karen. She does tell me that there is enough monies in our account to fund the paint machine from last month. I have not said anything to Mr. Woods. I wanted to let you guys know first that that communication has happened. There is enough money in there to pay for that paint machine. So from this point forward, Jen, if you can let John know that our approval of last month, we are clean to go with that. Again, we do have enough money there. And then on to the coal patch and such like that for this month. Again, I think what you'll see is that O&M does a very good job, as good as they can certainly do, putting our Carver roads back together. And our earth removal funds are earmarked for this. So in my opinion, the $3,249.50 is a good spend out of our account. Anybody have any further discussion from the board?
No, they do a great job.
I'll move that we approve these expenses.
Okay, Roger first. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on the $3,249.50 to O&M? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Passed unanimously. And don't let me leave without signing. Okay. So, on to my next favorite subject is a call for earth removal committee member volunteers. We are all present here today. There are 6 of us. I think we're going to hear an announcement in a moment that there will be 5 of us. So I'm going to put it out to the public. I just did speak with the town administrator and the chairman of the select board about the need for volunteers to serve on this board. We are looking. We need to have resident participation. If we don't have a full board, we are required to have 4 members present for a quorum for anything. So if one of us, for any reason, like Mr. Mason and I have to do occasionally, have to recuse ourselves, it puts us in a very bad way. So we are in fact looking, hopeful that we can have a Carver resident step forward, be appointed. We have 2 slots available. A Cape Cod Cranberry Growers Association member and a Board of Health member right now. And with that, Mr. Mason, I'm going to let you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So June 30th will have been the end of my 3-year term that I had signed on for with the Earth Removal Committee. And it's been a long 3 years. It's been rewarding. It's been a pleasure to serve the community, but at this point in time, I've made the personal decision to step off. My kids are 3 years older. A lot's changed in the last few years. I've been promoted within the cranberry operations at Makepeace and still serve as the president of the Cape Cod Cranberry Growers Association, along with many other leadership roles. So at this point in time, I don't have the attention, the time to give the attention necessary for this committee to do its justice and due diligence. So I've been working to try to find a replacement for me within the cranberry community here in Carver, and haven't gotten anybody to bite on it yet, but I'm hopeful that somebody will, and I apologize to leave the committee in a more jeopardized position, but it's a decision that I'm comfortable with and that I've made. So thank you to the Select Board for trusting me with this role over the last 3 years. Thank you to the various chairs that have tackled this committee since I've been involved, Mr. Ironimo, Mr. Garnett, and now Mr. Hanula. I couldn't imagine. So I think we're going in a great direction. I think there's work to be done. We've made a lot of work, and it won't be my end in Carver politics, I promise. So thank you all.
John, thank you very much for everything you've done. You will be sorely missed, but I will tell you that I understand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Ward?
Yes, thank you for your service. Was that a family vote?
That was a family vote, yeah.
I understand.
Forgot to get their vote when I signed on.
That was number 1.
Anyways, no, thank you, guys.
So now you guys all understand why the need and the call for further volunteers. When I have to recuse myself, there are literally 4 people left. So if one of the board members is in fact absent and I have to recuse myself, or Roger does, or one of the others, it becomes not a quorum, so it turns into a colossal waste of everybody's time when that happens. So with that, again, I'm going to ask the public. I'll ask all of you guys in the audience. I'll ask all of the board members and staff at the town hall to find us some help. It is not a thankless job, by the way. So with that, John, I do really appreciate everything you've done. And this probably will end up hurting you a little bit because you'll get something else instead.
I'll continue to support as best I can behind the scenes, Scott. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Pike, I put you on here for good reason, so you can introduce yourself to the audience, to the board, and to the public at home. Just if you would like to say just a few words about yourself and your new role here at the Carver Earth Removal Committee. I am happy as hell to have you here, so thank you. I'll
Thank you.
be looking forward to working closely with you over the next several months.
So yeah, Robert Pike, hello to everybody out there in TV land. And so as I said earlier, I have an agriculture background, some formal education, some school of hard knocks, playing in the dirt. And actually some of it's in aquaculture, which doesn't apply here, but I'm a big fishing guy, like I said, with the pond, got my attention there. And that's kind of it. I hope I can help out. I hope I can be the eyes and ears for the board, and I have my soil science down, so I know a little bit there, and I'll do my best, that's all I can say. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for.
Thank you for coming on board.
Rob, thank you very much. I think it's important for the audience to see your face and know who you are. A lot of people do watch this on TV. A lot of our applicants watch this on TV. So with that regard, there will be times that I'm certain you'll call on some of our applicants and ask a day in advance if you can go have a quote-unquote pop-in site visit. I don't want to be overly ambitious about that, but if you are in the neighborhood and you can speak with somebody via phone, give them a day's advance, they might tell you to come today. But just a common courtesy, I think, is important going forward. And now everybody's got to see you. So I do thank you for being here. And I really, really look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Scott, can I
Yes.
please? I like your common sense approach. This is something that we have to look at constantly, but I mean, there's a lot of just common sense to some of the projects that we have to look at. So, you're good.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else have anything for Mr. Pike?
No, welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so we're on to Mr. Opachinsky. Step on up. So we're discussing the pit closure of permit number 71, the Mass DOT SLT site off Spring Street, map 32, P3, P5, P6. Nice pen.
Walk out with that one.
Don't find that in the back
Not without
pocket.
getting caught anyway.
That's the point.
As the board knows, Peter's been in front of us a couple of meetings now, asked for a waiver of as-built permit. On the first one, we went out for a site visit. He was in here last month, and I'll start the conversation and just food for thought for the board. Based on some commentary from the planning board, based on commentary from town council, based on commentary from one or two of you, I think it would be beneficial for us at the Earth Removal Committee to have Mr. Opachinsky draft a as-built plan of the site for us specifically. Now, that's my opinion. We are a working group, so with any luck, it won't go that way for you, but that is my opinion.
Okay.
So with that, I'll open it to the board for discussion. And again, just like you saw with the site visits, my mind can be changed, so see where we go from there.
I mean, I think the original rationale behind entertaining this exemption was that we'd be able to extract the information through other site plans and the planning board, and I'm getting the sense that might not be the case now. So I'm a little bit betwixt on how we would we comply this project with an as-built at the end of its completion without any information regarding it. Is that still the case? Are we able to get an as-built from already engineered
Anything's
plans?
possible. I think it's a complete waste of time. You can see what's going on the site. There's buildings under construction, so
Yeah.
do I as-built those or do I not? The planning board's approved every single lot in there. What are you trying to accomplish? What do you need to see?
So we need to see, before we close the permit, we
Yeah.
need to make sure that everything you've done is in accordance with the plan that was drawn up. And that was town council's opinion. It's very difficult to go back after we've closed a permit out.
So what if you do find discrepancies? So someone designed a lot
Yep.
that I have no control over. Where does it go from there?
That'll be what we determine at that point. I'm in hopes that you're within a rounding error of where you said you were going to be.
I'd say everything's plus or minus a foot or two.
So
Like I said,
if that's the case, I would be willing to bet this board would look very favorably upon seeing that.
And you can't just look at grades of what the planning board has approved on site plans and just say, look at what we proposed originally? Very simple comparison.
Believe me when I tell you, I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Okay?
This is a weird scenario. So I'm open to more commentary from the board. Mr. Ward?
I'm afraid that what we deal with is controversy. So we are kind of covering our butt too by doing it. And we're sorry that we, I mean, as a grower, I like to take the word of mouth and man to man, woman to woman approach, but in this case, we're getting chased and we're in controversy constantly. And so that's what we need to do. If the town council says this is what he feels or she feels is the direction we should go in, then I'm kind of leaning towards we follow that town council's directions. And I'd love to do it man-to-man style, but gotta cover my butt. That's about it.
My opinion is that, based on our bylaws, if that was part of the plan and the permit, then we need that as-built.
And I think that's where Amy was too. So as part of the bylaw.
So she kept the other one too.
Yep. Anybody else? All right.
So how do I handle there is one lot yet to be developed because it's tied up with DEP?
Right.
Decision there.
Yep. So you're gonna as-built the property where the site was permitted for us, current grades, and you can extrapolate them however you want and put it on a engineered plan for this group.
So current grades only? You're not requiring the buildings to be shown, parking lots?
This is just for earth removal. This is where it gets very confusing for all of
Okay.
us too. It gets
I
very.
just want to be clear what
Yep.
I'm going to ask of my engineer, who's going to charge me dearly to do this.
And I apologize for that.
Yep.
I think you knew the risk going into this.
No, I didn't. It just didn't make any sense to as-built something that's already been approved by the planning board, but
Listen,
That's me.
And I am so with you. If all the lots were sold and yet you had a planning board plan on every single one of the lots, I
they
think
are all
just
sold and all have that.
put them all on. Should be pretty simple for the engineer to put them all together on an earth removal plan then, would be my anticipation.
Okay?
Albeit expensive, and I do apologize for that. But I think what you're hearing from all of us, that's what we'll do.
And to make it fair in the future, if a project comes in at that size and is planned on being a commercial industrial lot, it will be handled differently. Then we'll ask for our things separately than going forward with planning.
We are definitely going down a different road with another commercial permit in front of us. So what I will tell you is the current board before did things a little bit differently than the way that this board is handling it.
I would agree with that.
And what I will also tell you is you're probably getting out a little bit easier. With-
Okay?
Okay? So the fact of the matter is, an as-built plan, we'll be able to, once we can make sure, plan for plan, original versus as-built, if it's within reason, we already know the yardage.
Yeah, that was my other
Correct.
point, was that the yardage was within a very small percent.
Yep. So this way here, we have all of our i's dotted and t's crossed.
Okay.
Okay? I don't think I need a motion for that, but just to be safe, I'll take one. Because I'd rather have one and not need it than the other way around. So I'll entertain a motion to ask SLT Construction to provide an earth removal as-built for the SLT site off of Spring Street, map 32P3, 5, and 6.
I second that motion.
You got to make the motion.
Oh, I'll make a motion to ask for an as-built on the off Spring Street, map 32, P3, 5, and 6 property.
And Mr. Ward, second. Thank you very much, the two of you. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you.
Very good.
And sorry.
Probably a couple of months.
Take your time.
Okay.
You've got 2 years.
I was one, yes, thank you.
Okay. We have the pit closure for 80 Makepeace. John, you can stay because this is just me reading. A pit closure for 80 Makepeace, permit number 97, Hammond Street, map 131, lots 1 through 3, pit 24. Permit automatically extended due to the Permit Extension Act, as we discussed in our site visit discussion. So this will close that until they come back and ask to be put back on the agenda. Okay? Then we have a continued public hearing for Route 44 Development Corp., LLC, located off of the Green Parkway, formerly known as Montello Street, map 20, lot 2, the public hearing for Bowler Engineering. This applicant has requested a continuance to the July meeting. Okay, and Jen, thank you very much for taking care of all that and revising the agenda so it reads appropriately, so we don't have angst from our residents about taking time off. So thank you very much. Okay, so we'll see them in July. With that, I'm going to recuse myself. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mr. Shores to deal with topic number 12.
Scott, can you sign anything?
You are so smart.
Don't forget your water.
Oh, I'm coming back. I've got writing script to have.
Oh, he's coming back from the, I got you. Yeah. Okay. In mid-May, it was brought to our attention that unpermitted earth removal was being performed by ADGA. Is it ADGA? You say it that way? On their Fuller Street property, Assessor's Parcel 49-4-A. It was further reported that material was removed by G. Lopes, and it's assumed that the material was sold commercially. Cease and desist notice was sent on May 22nd via certified mail to both AGDA and G. Lopes, and it was also requested that AGDA be present at this meeting to address this violation. So I'd like to representation from AGDA to come forward.
Guys, mind if we bring an extra chair?
Sure.
All right.
You guys could sign in first. Thank you. So if you could state your name and just let me know what actually happened.
Sure. My name's Emil Taya Jr. on behalf of ADGA, and we have as well Andrew McCord on behalf of ADGA as well. We widened and cleaned up our property. We just recently acquired this property. We ended up cleaning ditches. What else did we clean?
Did some ditch cleaning. A lot of that material was kind of on the property when we purchased it. We widened the pond a little bit, cleaned some ditches, things of that nature.
So how much material was pulled out?
You know, I don't know. I'd be just making a wild number. I don't even know.
Well, I'm assuming you sold the material, so you must know.
Nope. Nope.
Where did it go?
Nope. It was trucked out by G. Lopes as a favor. I mean, I have more than enough equipment to process material. If I thought it was worth of any value, I would have, did it myself and kept it for, road bed or something. It was just garbage in my eyes. And at the time, they were coming through empty, picked up a few loads. That's about it, really.
A few loads, okay.
Where did the material go? What was the end use of it?
back to one of their pits, wherever
To
they
their
did with-
pits.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with it.
Would you say that it was over 1,000 yards?
Yeah, probably pretty close, and now that I realize what the law was, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too familiar with it.
Appreciate the honesty.
Yeah,
Yep.
when you called me and,
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, it opens up a different story.
because if we knew it was more than that, we would
Yeah.
have came across in front of you guys, because we have other projects in town, and we don't want to upset the board. We have multiple farms across Carver and other towns as well. We did remove material, so we want to see what the board needs from us so that we can remedy the situation and do a retroactive
Yep.
permit and close it as well, because do we have any other material there?
I got some, just some loamy stuff off to the right of the property that sooner or later I'd like to get out of there. I just wanna clean the place up, because that's kind of headquarters now, so. But if it's gonna require a permit, there's probably it's loamy subsoily garbage, the viney stuff. So if we gotta pull a permit, I'd like to do it the right way this time and not have a problem.
When we were working on the water hole, we even spoke with, emailed the conservation agent, and he told us if it's smaller than a certain size, he came out, he walked the property with us as well.
Yeah, 10,000 or whatever it was.
How long ago was that?
It was maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah, sometime over the winter.
Yeah.
We just cleaned up around the pond there, the trees and all the crap, the overgrowth, just to get the water back.
Yeah. None of that activity is the issue here. The issue here is the removal of the material without a permit above the 1,000 yards, whether you're giving it, bartering it, selling it. The ag exemption as far as material leaving the property is really to go to another property for ag use. Anything other than that raises a challenge and an issue on our end. But I appreciate your honesty here. This is exactly what the group is up against. This is you're making our job harder here and making their job a lot easier. This is disappointing. We have an ag exemption form that this committee has created more recently to stay in line with our bylaws. If you're doing ag exempt work and you're gonna have trucks leaving your property or coming into your property, it's a simple blanket certificate that you fill out and provide to the selectman's office. So when we do get calls on this, it helps us. We had a grower just recently moving sand in South Carver for ag purposes, and he came down and filled out the form and let us know. And when we get a call on it, we can articulate that.
We have since created a different protocol within our company as well.
Okay.
Me, I handle all the paperwork. Andrew handles all the day-to-day activities for our farm, so
Yeah. So,
going forward, he'll be coordinating with me
yeah,
any material that leaves any of our sites
yeah.
going forward. And whatever the board finds within their right to tell us what to do to fix this, to remedy
Yeah.
this, we're here to help.
Lopes is no stranger to earth removal in the town of Carver, and I'm a little disappointed that the contractor went through with this, knowing it was an unpermitted project, and, help us help ourselves here, guys. This is not making life easier. This is not coexisting with our citizens. I don't know.
John makes all great points, and it's going to be sad to see him go because he's so knowledgeable. But you're new to town, and you're setting very sour taste in the residents' mouths. And this isn't the first project that you've been doing or done in town that you weren't courteous enough to come to the boards on the town to share what you planned on doing. And just to be specific on this project here, several residents in the surrounding area noticed what was going on there, and it wasn't garbage stuff from the canals that you were hauling off. There's an obvious hill of dirt there that's been disturbed, and it wasn't garbage dirt because the garbage dirt you put around the perimeter of the property. So back to how many days were you excavating that property? You must have a work list.
We can come up with the...
Yeah, because the nonchalant attitude is not working for me.
No,
I mean, it's very disrespectful
We
to us.
apologize if anything is coming off as nonchalant. We wanted to make sure we get all the questions lined up so we can make sure we get all the answers.
And that's fine. And if you could get some of that information to us for the next meeting, that would be great. And in the meantime, we have this courtesy form, the yearly cranberry bog earth removal notification, and it doesn't have to be January to December. If you start a project May 1st, then you can turn this in to let us know. It's just making our board aware of what's going on. We don't need to know all your business, but when it affects the residents and our roads, it's our business.
Absolutely.
There's also an application that you can get online, or if you come to the permitting department, we can give you for earth removal. And I'm sure you can find a set of our bylaws on the website.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So the question is what we do about it. And what's the next step?
I think we should continue this until next meeting. to
Continue
address
the-
further information that they've come up with to supply.
How about a site visit?
Well, that is a good idea. A site visit.
Would you be open to us
By
coming
all
out there to
means,
take a look at
absolutely.
this?
Yes, please come, whatever day works best for you.
What
And
works
we'll
for you?
Make sure he can accompany you guys and we do a site walk.
Saturday morning?
Saturday morning work for you guys? What if we did it a little later for Mr. Ward?
I can do it.
10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Does that work for you, John? or no?
Maybe even 9:30. But depends on, Yep.
Do you have any
Well, you're just visiting
time that you
this
can't
site-
make it?
This site, this
Just
Saturday.
This is just one.
Yeah, that would, I mean, we should be able to cover whatever we need to for within an hour.
Yep.
And so I'm
day was
good.
it?
If
June
you guys
7th.
can
What's your
go
window
10,
of time?
If you can do 10, I'll do 10. And I'll be there,
Is that a good time for you?
yes.
Okay. Are you available or a representative from that area?
Yes.
Okay.
And any other
works for me.
questions so we can make
What's
sure we
that?
get all the answers for you.
Yes, why don't you take these two pieces of paper, and that way you can have them for the future? There's probably some other ones.
One thing I'm going to request is an honest estimate of the material taken. Lopes is paying trucks, paying truck drivers. You guys know how much came out. Let us know. Be honest.
We'll get the number, absolutely.
Be honest.
And we have a kind of guesstimate from, based on our reporting of how much went out.
But
That would be necessary, I think, if we postpone the meeting, we do a site visit, and then we have what John's speaking about. That'll give us better information for any kind of decision we have to make.
I think the key here is that you guys need to be honest with us about what's happened, and what's going to happen, because if I read the bylaw, the only real options we have, if any earth removal shall be removed without obtaining an earth removal permit or otherwise in violation of this chapter, the ERC may order the restoration of the property. So that's like one of the only remedies they give us in the bylaw itself, and I don't think that makes sense.
Well,
But at the same time, we need you guys to be honest with us about what happened and what was moved, and so we can make some sort of reasonable determination going forward.
Absolutely, and Andrew will be available to you. He will show you where the material came from. If you look on the Google Earth, it'll show you what was there before, and we cleaned up the bed, and we cleaned up the water hole so that we make sure that the water is enough for this season. And then he'll walk you guys through, so you visually can see it. There wasn't any mountain, we took down a mountain, and it was just from the site itself. It's a small site for us. But absolutely, any questions you guys have, we'll be here to answer for you.
Okay.
thank you.
Well, thank you.
So 10 o'clock on Saturday, we'll
This
meet.
Saturday.
Where are we gonna meet?
So at the facility at Fuller's, the old Harvey Burgess Bogs, I guess?
Yep, okay.
Basket.
Yeah.
Nemasket, yeah. I guess that was Nemasket, but after.
Changed hands a few times, yeah.
You know where it is?
Down
Mike?
Fuller Street, the first bog on the right, just before you get into Middleborough.
Yep. Yep, I know it.
Okay, 10 o'clock on Tuesday.
On Saturday.
On Saturday, sorry.
Thank you.
And we'll have the paperwork as soon as possible the next day or so.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And you guys are going to be at our next meeting also?
Absolutely. When is your next meeting?
July 1st, he said, right?
July 1st, yeah.
Wonderful. Great, thank you.
All right, Scott.
What time are we doing? 8, 10 o'clock.
Does that conclude our day?
Yes.
Okay,
Going to close this out?
let's close it out. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
Before,
Ah, yes.
can we put on next month's agenda a request for looking at the application fees?
Okay,
We've had the same application fee, $100, since the inception back in 1988. And we did just revise the tipping fees last quarter.
yep.
So I'd like to know if we could adjust the fee for the application,
Okay.
if you want to, or if not.
Well, right now, let's put that on the agenda, Jen, and if you can refresh our memories when it comes time of what we charge now. And put on there too the tip fees for ag and commercial. And any other fees that's it, right? Okay. So we'll,
There's people in the audience, anybody want to speak? Any questions?
I'm just here from G. Lopes Construction, so, we want to comply with the board. We were asked for new material. I'm kind of getting this the last minute, and then I got here approximately, I was notified this meeting about noon time. The gentleman that has run this project, Dan Nunes, is on vacation, so I just wanted to be here to represent. I'm the COO of the company, so I'm trying to get myself familiar, but I wanted to make sure we're here to represent. We've done a lot of business with the town of Carver, want to make sure that we stay within the standings. Disappointed that, the board's upset, and after hearing this, I can completely understand why. So, we will comply with whatever your needs are at that point, and we'll do our best to provide whatever material or whatever, materials you need, to make a decision.
All right, thank you.
Would you be able to?
Thank you.
Certainly.
there you go. Good call, Jen.
Sue?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
If I may also.
Yes.
John Zajac, also on behalf of Lopes Companies. Again, as the folks who were just before you said, this has been a learning experience for us as well. We didn't think that we were getting away with something. We believed that they already had something in place. We're going to certainly require in the future that anyone who asks us for a project, even of this size, as small as it may have been, show us that they have a permit for it, so.
Because it's 1,000 cubic yards.
Thank you.
That's
No,
not
we
much.
absolutely plan to do that. We're going to put a procedure in place for that.
Jen, do you have a phone number that we have to call the administrative office to speak with our agent yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm working with John on that.
When you do get a phone number that applicants or contractors need to speak with us, or residents, if Mr. Pike has a phone number, landline, comes to the town hall, that would be spectacular for us to be able to talk about at our next meeting.
Okay.
And thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
But now you know that anything over 1,000 that leaves, we need to know.
Like I said, even a small project like this will certainly require a permit, or we'll make the call ourselves.
Some communication.
Unless it's ag exempt, and all it requires is a notification
Right,
form in the selectman's
exactly.
office, so.
Understood.
Help us help you, please.
Sir?
Thank you, guys.
We will.
Thank you.
all.
We have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Roger did. Thank you very much.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Abstentions? Didn't think so. Thank you all very
So,
much.
John, we won't see you in the July